Welcome back to the GTN show.
Yeah, it is GTN's 5th birthday. Yay! You can send presents to the address down below.
Nice, yeah, good shout. On today's show, a big name is out of Kona, whilst another maybe back in.
Yeah, plus we look ahead to this weekend's Collins Cup.
Yeah, plus all the usual features, including race news and 2 European champs from this past weekend.
All right, as usual, we start the show with looking at everything we've noticed on the internet over this past week, starting with some bad news. Jan Frodeno posted this post on his Instagram saying he's out of Kona. Sounds like he had a bike crash not too long ago, got a bit of an infection in his hip, and now they've had to go in, clean it out. They then wait to see that it's going to get better. Then they go in again, clean it out again until it's completely healed. Whatever it takes, however long it takes, he's definitely out of Kona. That's the end of this.
He looks a little immobile and in rather a lot of pain.
Not ideal. He does also say in the same post that he's looking ahead to the last 14 months of his career. So assuming he's aiming for Kona 2023 as his final hurrah. So yeah, a lot of speculation. Obviously, he's now injured again. He's been injured for quite a while now. It's been quite a bad year. People are talking, well, maybe it's time for him to hang up the old boots. But he's putting rumours of that to rest in saying he's definitely all in for Kona 2023. And yeah, we'd definitely love to see him there.
I do feel for him a bit because I think we all sensed this was his last year potentially. He was really going to go for that Kona win, his final Kona win, 2022, and now he's sort of got to drag it out another year.
Yeah. But more importantly, it probably means he's out for the Scrail 100, which we really enjoyed doing with him last year. That's really disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But in some more positive news, we have a notable athlete that may be back for Kona, or at least is attempting, and they are starting that this weekend in Samarin, and that is Lucy Charles-Barclay. And obviously she's been out for quite a substantial amount of time. From earlier this year, she was out with a severe stress fracture in her hip, which saw her not being able to cycle or run, and I believe actually put her out from swimming for a little bit of time. Well, more recently we've heard that she's back running, and well, quite suddenly she's in an event.
Yeah, she actually said she threw her hat in the ring for the Collins Cup, but wasn't selected as one of those wild cards. She obviously not qualifying automatically, having been injured for so long. Yeah, she said in her post that she's going to be in Samarin this weekend, but not for the Collins Cup, because she wasn't actually selected for the Collins Cup. She obviously didn't get one of those automatic qualifying spots, and then she wasn't picked as one of the wild cards, although she did say she threw her hat in the ring for it, so maybe she's a bit disappointed by that. But there's another race happening in the same place at the same venue on the same weekend. It is the World Triathlon Long Distance Triathlon World Champs, and she's thrown her hat in the ring for that. So she's going to prove that she's on a comeback trail and running again. We look forward to seeing her race. There's a few other names going to do that one, but we'll talk about that later in our previews.
Yeah, they're not making it easy for her. Definitely got a bit of a point to prove, hasn't she? Another exciting thing going on, not necessarily in the world of triathlon, but in cycling, we have a British lad, Dan Bigham, who actually works with a lot of the pro triathletes and some of the big cycling teams, including Ineos Grenadiers. Dan Bigham is going after the world hour record time. Now he's doing that in Switzerland, not actually at altitude, but he's getting a lot of support from the Ineos Grenadiers team. So very excited to see how he gets on. He was obviously part of Joe Skipper's team for the sub-7 attempt, and actually helped a lot with the team setup, the aerodynamics and all their bikes, etc.
You say he's going after our record time. I'm pretty sure it's going to take him an hour. The whole 60 minutes is going to take.
It's a very good point.
He's going after the hour record distance, which is 55 kilometers and 89 meters, and I think he's hoping to beat that distance.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's going to take him 60 minutes though.
Also, really cool thing I spotted on social media, and actually I like this a lot because I met these lads this weekend. It is the Race Off-Road Scholarship Team. So 2 young lads, part of the Race Off-Road team, which is set up by Doug Hall, a good friend of mine, were out at the Xterra Czech Republic European Champs, and they are on a scholarship program in which they are essentially just supported as best as possible, given bikes, equipment, kits, race entry, accommodation, and just trying to see what they can achieve, because we all know when we're trying to break it as a professional, it can be incredibly hard. But what I loved was this post actually from post-race, is them actually going around the course after and giving something back by literally just walking around with bin bags, picking up any litter that was left on course. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these events happen in beautiful areas, beautiful scenery, beautiful environments, and it would be a shame for our events to be ruining that. So good
Really
on you,
cool.
lads.
Yeah, well
really
done,
cool.
lads. Good all around there. Next we have this one of Kat Matthews, and she is in the wind tunnel, obviously dialing that position ahead of Kona, and yeah, it looks like she's working pretty hard at that. She says, Monday upgrades, first time in wind tunnel today, am a fan. Ha ha ha, clever one, Kat, nice one.
We also spotted that Rachel McBride was taking part in the Leadville 100, a mountain bike event, and they finished inside the top 50 overall, obviously outside of the pros. They say that they were racing, but then that actually just became a race with themselves to try and get under the 8-hour mark, which they achieved in 7 hours, 57 minutes. I've heard it's an incredibly tough event, so very well done.
Well done, yeah. And finally we have this one, which is a little bit out there. Dean Cornazes, the ultra runner, posted this on his Instagram. He was out running the Headlands 150-mile ultra in the Marin Headlands in California, and in the middle of the night, he was attacked by a coyote. Yeah, he was out running the 150-mile Headlands Ultra in Marin Headlands in California, and he was attacked by a coyote in the middle of the night.
Ouch.
Yeah, scary. He said it's not the first wild animal attack he's had, because he's been attacked by a shark before. I'll be honest, I'd expect to be attacked by a shark more than expect to be attacked by a coyote in the middle of the night. Like, they don't attack humans, do they?
I just wonder if Dean maybe should just choose some other hobbies now, I think maybe.
Maybe. He said luckily he was running with sticks and he was used that to hit it a few times and it ran away. Either way, a pretty scary event.
And did he finish?
I think so.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. On with the Tri news, and as we said, we're building up to this weekend's Collins Cup presented by the PTO. This is their flagship event. It's a pretty big deal for pro triathletes. If you're not familiar with what it is basically like the Ryder Cup of triathlon. So they split the world into 3 teams. There's Team USA, Team Europe, and then Team rest of the world. And each team has 6 men and 6 women, and they all race each other in these head-to-head matches, 1 versus 1 versus 1. So 3 people.
Head to head.
Yeah, head-to-head matches. Three of them, and they go off every 10 minutes, and you can watch every single match, and then each match winner wins some points towards the total, and you eventually decide who the overall winning team is. And it's a pretty big deal. It's got $1.5 million for those pro athletes that are taking part there. And it happens over a shorter course than a 70.3, so a 2K swim, 80k bike and 18-kilometer run, the PTO 100-kilometer format. And it's a pretty exciting event, all televised. And there's a bit more to it than just that, though, because as I said, they race against each other, but we don't know who's racing against who just yet.
Exactly. So on Thursday, they will be doing what they call their team draft. So essentially, they will announce one by one an athlete, and then the teams have an option to then pick who is going to go up against one another. And they sort of cycle it around so it's fair. And yeah, that's where tactics really comes into play, because as one team may pick out a strong biker, the next team may want to respond with their strong biker. So we get a really interesting format coming through from that. And that team draft pick will be streamed live on Thursday the 18th at 6 p.m. Central European Time. And then the big race itself will be taking place on Saturday the 20th at 12:30 Central European Time. And you can find that all on the GTN Plus app.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, we don't actually, as we said, we don't know who's racing who. And this is where it really gets exciting on Thursday when we find out who's racing who, because all the biggest names are there. For example, you've got Christian Bloemveld, Gustav Eden and Patrick Lange all in Team Europe. So they're not racing against each other. But who will they be racing? Do they put Christian Bloemveld against Sam Long for the USA? Or do they put him against a Ben Canute from the USA, etc.? Do they put him against Lionel Sanders from the Team International? On the women's side, same thing. We don't know who's racing Daniela Ryf yet, but someone will be racing Daniela Ryf. What we do know, though, is there won't be Taylor Knibb. So Taylor Knibb is ranked number 1 in the US team, Daniela Ryf number 1 in the Europe team, and Paula Findlay number 1 in the international team. But they definitely won't be racing each other because, unfortunately, Taylor Knibb is injured. So she's been replaced at the last minute by Jocelyn McCauley for the USA. But then we're going to find out who's racing who on Thursday. And essentially, you don't really want Daniela Ryf to go up against your strongest one, do you? You kind of want
to save them.
Save your strongest one for someone they could actually beat in the other.
We thought that last year.
Yeah,
and they
exactly
actually
the
played all their
made.
ace cards. So, yeah,
So
it'll be interesting.
We will see. And a couple more points from the PTO right now this week. They also announced that they've got a partnership with Precio, who we hadn't actually heard of before, but it's a sustainable clothing brand, and they're going to be making all the merchandise for the Collins Cup and all future events for the PTO. Precio is a company started by the founder of 2XU, and they focus on sustainable product development on 7 pillars, so including fibers, their dyeing, their fabric applications, the end-of-life supply chain, packaging, and manufacturing. So they're trying to keep their product as sustainable as possible, and PTO say it aligns with their values, so they're going to be using their products for all their future events.
Nice, good work. Also last week we talked about the upcoming US Open, obviously coming after the Collins Cup, which is taking place in Dallas. Now we have seen a course that's on their website which looks interesting. There were a lot of turns in there, and we were wondering, Christ, if you're sending a lot of pros around this course, this could be interesting. Now, they have actually responded and sent us through the pro course, which is very different from the age group course. It looks fast. It's pretty much just a straight out and back. So it's 7 laps of this bike course, as I say, straight out and back. So if you were literally to position yourself on the course, you should see the athletes at least 11 times, apparently.
More like 22 if you position yourself well, because you can run and back.
And then the run course is 5 laps. So hopefully that will put a few pros at ease.
Yeah, there were a few pros on social media who are a bit worried about the 19 or something corners on each lap of the age group course, but that won't be such an issue now that they've released this course.
Yeah, and then also Super League have announced the venue for their Super League Grand Final.
Yeah, which is very interesting because we don't know that this city actually exists yet.
Pretty bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when we say we don't know if this city exists, literally on their website for the kind of promo for this city, they are building it as we speak, and it's pretty different, pretty substantial.
Yeah, you may have heard of this. It's called The LAN, and the total production thing is called NEOM, and it's built in Saudi Arabia. It's this futuristic city that's going to be 170 kilometers long and 200 meters wide. So this really long LAN, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie. And apparently, they're going to be hosting the 2022 October Super League Grand Final. And we really don't know where they're going to actually hold this triathlon. But apparently that's where it's going to be. It has been announced. So we wait with bated breath.
I hope we get an invite. Okay, now we have a Guinness record with a difference. Now, Robert Pope started this challenge by drinking a pint of Guinness. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what Guinness is, it's a very famous drink from Ireland. So he started it by having a pint of Guinness, dipped his feet in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Galway City in Ireland, and then ran east trying to accomplish the cross-section of Ireland, or run from one side to the other, in under 24 hours, and then having another pint of Guinness on the other side in Dublin.
Did he just have the Guinnesses so he could call it a Guinness record? It's not actually
well, I think so. I mean, it makes a good title, doesn't it?
I mean, it's clever, but it's a little bit cheeky.
I mean, it is technically, we're waiting to be proven wrong, but he also thinks he's the only person to have run the width of Ireland and in under 24 hours as well. So I think it is kind of a record.
He's definitely the only person to have downed 2 Guinnesses. Definitely not.
He's managed it in under 24 hours, 23 hours, 39 minutes, a total of 215 kilometres. So really good going. And in doing so, he raised over £3,000 for World Wildlife Fund in the process.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. But that's not his most impressive feat, actually. I read further on in the article, and this is really impressive. Because 6 or 7 years ago, he quit his job and retraced the entire route that a certain Forrest Gump ran. And Forrest Gump, if you remember from the movie, ran across America 5 times.
Yeah.
So that's what he did. And he raised £35,000 for Peace Direct and the World Wildlife Fund. And it was a 25,000 kilometre long journey, which took him 422 days. Now, I wonder how many Guinnesses it took him to get through that.
And actually, in doing so, I think partway through, he ran a marathon dressed as Forrest Gump and got a Guinness World Record for the fastest marathon as Forrest Gump. As you do when you're mid-running 25,000 kilometres. Woo!
Did he grow his beard too?
He did. Yeah. Yeah, he literally looks like real-life Forrest Gump. Now, finally, we also...
Can he play table tennis?
We'll have to throw it out to him. All right, well, Robert Pope, get in touch. If you can play table tennis, let us know. We'd love to see, and we'll make James very happy.
Yeah.
Finally, we just want to do a big shout out to you guys. A big thanks actually for getting involved in the comments. A healthy debate really after the topic last week discussing Ironman's decision to basically go ahead with a 2-day Ironman World Championships for 2023. And also in doing so, actually opening up a lot of spots for women's triathlon in terms of qualifying for the Ironman World Championships. Yeah, it's really great to get everyone's opinions and thoughts on that. So we really encourage that going forwards, constructive decisions, ideas. We love it.
All right, now it's time for What the Tech. And last week, we couldn't find anything to talk about in this segment. Today, we don't have anything big, but we've got a lot of interesting little bits to talk about, starting with the Apple Watch. So a few weeks ago, we told you that the Apple Watch, the Apple smartwatch, has come out with a triathlon mode. How exciting. Yeah, well, DC Rainmaker's done a little review on it now. Someone's actually tested it and seen how well it works. It does seem to be like the triathlon mode is more for the triathlon enthusiast who's doing one or maybe two or maybe never doing triathlon again.
Or maybe triathloning to work, a bit like I do.
No one does that, Mark. No one does that. Anyway, the triathlon watch is not really for your serious athlete because it can't integrate with your power meter or even your cadence meter. It can use a heart rate monitor, but only Apple's own heart rate monitor. It has a triathlon mode. The triathlon mode, when you are actually racing, basically you can program what zones, what disciplines you're going to do. So swim, bike, run, or you can just do bike, run, or you can just do swim, run, or you can do run, swim, run, whatever you're doing, you can pre-choose that. And then it does it all for you. Apparently, Apple has decided that humans are too dumb to hit a lap button, and only smartwatches can make that transition. It does mean, and as DC Rainmaker found out, that you can't actually tell it when you've exited transition to start your run. It's just going to decide when you leave your bike, you've started your run leg, which I think you found a bit frustrating. Yeah, as I say, it's not exactly perfect for a racing triathlete. It also has a frustrating 3-second countdown when you start. So when you hit go, it's going to go 3, 2, 1, go. And of course, everyone else is going to have already gone if you hit it when the gun goes, which is also a bit frustrating for something designed to race with. But yeah, it is a pretty cool feature, and we like to see triathlon being featured in these big tech things. It's obviously triathlon is making a mark in the world stage.
And as I say, fantastic for your commute to work. Also, we have Ultra, who are the performance running brand. They have interestingly started implementing a BOA feature onto their shoes. Now, this is in the lead up to the Mont Blanc Ultra coming up in just a couple of weeks' time, which is a very exciting event. But yeah, we're seeing a few brands actually integrating BOA systems onto their shoes, particularly in the trail market. And the idea is that you're getting this nice, secure and even fit and, securing the foot as best as possible in the shoe.
Should probably tell people what a BOA is if they don't know. A BOA is one of those little ratchets that you turn and it tightens like you see on your cycle shoes, or many cycle shoes have it. Now we're starting to see it go onto run shoes. It's a more refined tightening and loosening than you get with your shoelaces, where you tie them once and that's it for the rest of your day. You can kind of adjust it as you go, which is quite useful for an ultra trail run. Yeah, definitely. Another pair of shoes we've also seen, these ones are a bit more out there. So McLaren Automotive, who are more famous for Formula One teams and the like, have released a pair of shoes called the High Speed. And they've got carbon in them. They're a pretty serious shoe, but also aiming at the fashion market. So we're not really sure where these fit, but I can tell you where they fit on the price range, and that is at the very, very top, because they cost $450. McLaren Automotive have been working with Athletic Propulsion Labs for more than 2 years to release their shoes. No word on whether they have bested Nike's 4% on their Nike Alpha Flies yet at all. But yeah, at $450, they are available now in brick and mortar stores and online. Yeah,
don't all race at once. Yeah. Maybe we just don't like them because
we can't afford them.
Well, but because, as you say, it's aimed at the fashion market. And if you've seen how we dress, I'm not sure my Birkenstocks will quite fit the fashion market. Anyway, we also now have the Muck-Off LOP system, or the Lightweight Oversized Precision Shifting system. Now, this was released around a year ago, but up until now was pretty much only available to their pro athletes. Now they have their LOPS 2.0 system, which is available to buy for £1,000.
$999, Mark.
Oh, sorry, to be precise, yeah. Now this is, like many other oversized pulley wheel systems, essentially trying to smoothen out that chain line and just improve that chain efficiency. Now, they have actually made this only for an 11 speed because Mokov actually claimed that 11 speed is more efficient than 12 speed. I mean, that's a big claim.
Bit of a bold claim,
and they say not just a little bit, 36.6% faster.
Wow. It's also only available for Shimano Dura-Ace 11 speed. So pretty niche market. And at nearly £1,000, it's
it does look cool though. I like the paint job on it.
It's not exactly free speed though, is it?
True. Okay, now for the race news. And this weekend we had 2 European champs. So starting with the European Triathlon champs. And on the women's side, this was won by 2013 ITU World Champion Non Stanford, who actually announced that this would be her final year of pro racing, but seems to be having an absolute cracker. And just recently, she actually helped her Welsh team at the Commonwealth Games to a silver medal in the mixed team relay.
Yeah, she's really having
Impressive.
a good year, yeah. She was followed home by Laura Lindemann from Germany and Emma Lombardi from France in third. Meanwhile, on the men's side, it was a French 1-2-3 with Leo Berger taking the win, Pierre Lecourt in second, and Dorian Connex in third. And then, of course, because they had third place in the women and all 3 men, they went on to win the mixed relay. So French took the title there with Germany second and Switzerland in third.
Yeah, we also had the Ironman Ireland event this weekend, which was a women's pro-only event, so no male pro athlete happening there. And Svenja Toes actually won the event, but then was DQ'd. There's a lot of controversy going on there.
Yeah, at this time it isn't final because she can still appeal, but essentially Ironman have said unless evidence is presented to Ironman officials that exonerates her, she'll be denied her third career Ironman victory. She finished ahead of Simone Mitchell, who is now promoted to the winner, Laura Zimmermann from Germany in second, and Chantal Sainter from Britain in third.
Yeah, now we also had Ombrumman kind of this weekend, or actually today as we're filming.
Now.
So news just in, because literally as we're filming this, they are crossing the line, and we have the provisional winners.
Yeah, Bob Rivera's taking out the win for the women with Nick Hilduin from Netherlands in first on the men's side, and we actually don't have any more information from you. I don't even know who was second or third. For all I know, they're still racing. It's literally just come in right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty epic event. If you haven't heard of Ombrumman before, it is a massive race over in France. James has actually won it before. Now tell us how tough this course is.
It's pretty brutal. I mean, you go over the Col de Izard, which is, I think, 2,400 meters in 188k cycle leg. And then, of course, the run is not exactly flat with 3 laps up a steep hill. It's a brutal, brutal race, and there will be people out there until midnight tonight, still going. It's pretty cool though. It's got so much history in France, and it's been around for well over 30 years. It's a pretty special race. Definitely a bucket list event, but you've got to be fit to do that.
Yeah. And it's actually one of the biggest prize purses for triathlon in France as well, which is pretty good. We also obviously had Xterra Czech Republic this weekend, which also doubled up as the European champs. And I was there to lap it up and get involved myself, so stay tuned. No, stay tuned for my video and you'll see how I got on. It was emotional. It was a very tough course, quite technical.
Spoiler alert, Mark didn't win.
No, I didn't win. I had a good day. I had great fun, and hopefully that comes across in the video. But it was a very impressive race on the pro side. It was Arthur Sierras that took the win, and I believe he's won now 14 of 16 races, roughly, which is very, very impressive. Followed up, second place was Felix Farizier, and third, Ruben Rizafa. Actually, Felix Farizier's brother, Arthur Farizier, finished, but then was DQ'd because he actually took a wheel from his team manager partway round, which is obviously outside assistance. But in his defence, he was like, well, I wanted to get to the end of the course, otherwise I was stuck 20k from the finish.
Yeah, fair enough.
So fair.
Same thing Svenja Toes was disqualified for, but we're not sure what she did, whether she took a wheel or what else she took, but it was also outside assistance that she was disqualified for.
On the women's side, we had Sandra Meerhofer taking the win there, fairly convincingly over Patty Elise, and then Luana Duvesson in third. And then the following day, brutal, just done a fairly short, intense event on the Saturday. Then the next day on Sunday, they do what they call the short track, kind of like the UCI short track for mountain biking.
Yeah, and now this is really impressive because the winner of the women's and the second place in the women's were the winner and the second place the next day in the short track. So Sandra Mayhofer from Italy taking the win, Elise Patisse from France in second, and Solène Billion in third. And then on the men's side, Lucas Cachard took the win, Maxime Chaney from France in second, and Jens Nielsen from Denmark in third.
Yeah, and really cool actually for Lucas because he is actually a local to the event, literally just 10k away, so very, very cool.
You didn't jump into the short track?
No, I was tempted, but then actually saw just how flipping good they are. But it was a really cool spectacle. It's something I really hope takes off for them because, I mean, they had their Red Bull pilot flying over the top during the event, and they basically base it around the lake, and it's just multiple laps. So it's a really cool spectacle, all broadcast live. So yeah, try and tune in if you can for future ones.
Yeah. Now let's also take a look at what's coming up ahead on the calendar this weekend. UTMB is coming up soon. I don't think it's this weekend, the next one after, but Collins Cup is this weekend. Also World Triathlon Long Distance Triathlon Champs in the same place as the Collins Cup is also happening this weekend. And quite a stacked field there, I must say. Both the men's side and the women's side. I'm not sure whether the guys and girls are just hanging out so if someone drops out, they can get a call up for the Collins Cup. Anyway,
maybe it's just for the after party.
Yeah, maybe it's for the after party. It's going to get a reputation, but it's quite a strong field. Australia's Grace Tech, Great Britain's Emma Pallant, Sweden's Lisa Norden, all going up against, as we said, Lucy Charles-Barclay. And on the men's side, also an absolutely stacked field there. So those will be races to watch outside of the Collins Cup. Ironman Kalmar in Sweden is also happening this weekend, and that is a men's only race after this weekend's women's only race.
Notable athletes racing.
Yeah, particularly Alistair Brownlee, who's going on a last-ditch attempt to get his Kona qualification. There's a few other athletes on that list who are also trying to get one of those only 2 spots available for Kona there. Also, Ironman Mont Tremblant is happening this weekend, and that is also, that will be the absolute last chance to qualify for Kona. 2 men's and 2 women's slots there, and then that is the cutoff for this year's Kona. So a few other guys there and girls going for their last-ditch attempt to qualify for Kona this year. 70.3 Vichy, and then Ironman Copenhagen and Ironman Vichy are also happening, but those don't have pro fields, just age groupers. Okay, now it's time to look at some of the stuff you've sent in. Remember, you can send your own stuff in, anything about triathlon, in the link on the screen right now. Upload your photos, your videos, anything you've been involved in triathlon. We'd love to see your photos and videos and whatever else. Starting with this one today from Di in Swansea.
Look at that dashing man.
Who is this guy?
Wow.
He says, me and my wife were watching 70.3 in Swansea when all of a sudden we both noticed Mark literally turned to each other at the same time and said, "That's Mark from GTN."
I know, I tried my hardest. I put my celebrity shades on, non-GTN clothing. Just can't get away from the paparazzi these days.
Yeah, I noticed you had big barriers to keep the riffraff away from you though, Mark.
No, it was awesome to meet so many of you out there actually. A lot of people came up and said hi, and it was just fab just being out there and supporting so many people. So yeah, well done if you raced it, and lovely to see you if you came and said hi. Next one from Pedro, who has cerebral palsy and is also racing with his brother Miguel. They're part of the team Iron Brothers. So these photos are actually from Ironman Hamburg, and they said that this was the most epic finish line in their lives, where we finished our second full distance Ironman race, dropping the time from 16 hours and 28 minutes to 14 hours and 27 minutes. And in October, we'll try to finish Ironman 70.3 I should have prepped that one. Vuliagmini. Ironman 70.3 Greece. And in October, we'll try to finish Ironman 70.3 Greece in under 6 hours to beat the world average amateur times for the 70.3 distance. Absolutely amazing.
Epic.
Chapeau.
Epic. Yeah, well done, guys. Yeah, next one we have this one from Caroline, and she says, our local swim group gathers at 6 a.m. 3 times a week during the summer to swim around the island in this photo. We usually swim about 2 kilometers, sometimes more, sometimes less. We have had more than 25 swimmers get together some mornings. Once we get to the other side of the island, we stop to watch the sunrise before venturing back to shore. Many of us are triathletes that often hop on the bike after. What a cool way to start the day.
I like the sound of that swim.
Yeah.
That's my kind of swim. Yeah.
I mean, you could just sit on the shore and watch the sunrise too. You don't actually do the 2K.
And then just walk back around. Next one in from Core, if that's their name. That's what they submitted anyway. From Bucks County in Pennsylvania. Just finishing up the run at my first Olympic distance triathlon. At 49 years old, I knew it wouldn't be fast, but I crossed the finish line 12 minutes ahead of my goal, and that's even after having to walk a large portion of the run in 86-degree weather, 75% humidity, and way too many hills got many of us to slow down. It was too dangerous to push. Next year, I'm looking for a cooler one in October. Very, very well done. Awesome work. Well, please do keep your photos and videos, for that matter, coming in using that photo uploader link on screen right now, or in the description just down below. And finally, we've got the caption competition. Last week's photo was from Ironman Alaska, with this chap crossing the finish line in a bear onesie outfit.
Yeah, as you do. Yeah. Kayla Mack says, the cold was unbelievable, so they gave me a new tri suit.
Stuart Walker, better than the average bear.
I think you're supposed to say better than the average bear.
And also, isn't it smarter than the average bear?
Oh, yeah. No points for that one then. LZR Beijing 08 says, I was in it for the win, not the hunting.
Nice. Peter Smith, racing in the cold, I can't bear it.
Ah, yeah. TNN says, that try was so fun, I should keep the bear suit on the rest of the week, but I need to ask my wife about that. Alaska, when she's in a good mood.
Oh, it's a long one, that one.
Yeah, you're truly reaching there, isn't it? Yeah.
Juju Ryan, I can't bear the pain anymore.
Obvious one. Eric Hayden, grizzly grind to the finish.
All right. Di Phillips, he bared his soul to finish that Ironman.
Ah, yeah. Okay, our winner for the Star Wars fans out there, and a little bit different. Everett Barr says, wearing a full onesie on the run. What a Wookiee mistake.
Yeah, I'll get in touch and we'll ping a cap out to you very soon.
Yeah. So this week for the caption competition, we have this photo of our very own cameraman, Rob. And I've gone with, he's running ahead of Mark. This was in the exterior this weekend. How was he beating you, Mark? So I've gone for position available, starting immediately, presenter who can keep up with GTN's cameraman.
I gotta say, he's got a good sprint on him.
Yeah. To be fair though, he was only doing one sprint every lap and you were running the whole lap.
True, but you know, credit where credit's due. Hey?
Well, if you can do better than our Mark caption there, leave it in comments down below. We'd love to hear from you and you could be winning a bottle next week.
Yeah, but that is it for the show this week. We've got some fab stuff coming up on the channel, including seeing me go through a fair amount of pain at the ex-Terra Czech Republic European Champs this weekend. But actually it's part of a bigger video in which it's sort of like a Get Fit Mark boot camp where I use Humango, the AI platform, to coach me.
Oh, artificial intelligence coaching. That will be an interesting video. Also, if you're looking for something to watch right now, you can look on our channel for a Racing in the Heat vid where we discuss everything you need to know if your race is going to be hot.
Yeah, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe.